King Solomon, Solomon's paradox. King Solomon, he used to get people that worked for him to come to and explain a problem as if it was someone else in his life, but really they're explaining his problems in a different way. And then he'd give advice to these people and they'd turn around and be like, oh, that's your life, apply it. You know what I mean? So because you give better advice to other people than you do for your own life. But you said the clips were good.
They were good.
It was because it was so edited.
Yeah.
Because we're like, okay, start saying serious stuff now.
Yeah. But I'm not gonna lie, the clips were good because they were funny. Because like we'd make a good point.
Yeah.
Like the good point was like, oh yeah, if you start falling over, you got 10 years to live. And then I'd say, so what if I was 93 and I hadn't fallen over yet? And then you said,
I'd come and push you.
Yeah.
I'd come and push you over.
So it was like a good message with a funny spin.
I'm a bit like that.
And it's funny, and that's good. That's what we want.
I can't see my screen because it's the glare.
Glary.
The glare. Is that the same for you?
A little bit the same, yeah.
Don't worry, we're resilient.
Where is it?
We're like the Goggins of podcasters.
Yeah. Nothing will stop us. Not even distance.
Except a stress fracture in your knee.
But even then, we get comfy and we make it work.
Exactly right.
Okay. I need to move this. SCULPTED Podcast. Studies. Alright. You good to go?
What? I'm joking, I'm professional.
Apparently this guy's the David Goggins of podcasts.
It is the David Goggins of podcasters.
Alright.
Yeah, I'm ready. Are you ready? I need to make sure my posture's good. I'm such a sloucher. Do you slouch as well?
It's a tall person thing. You want to be relatable, and you like this is actually why I used to be such a sloucher, because I was always tall when I was young. Because I would always try and be relatable.
Really?
Yeah.
No, but I slouch like that, not like that.
Oh, okay.
You know what I mean?
Okay. Yeah.
I am a bit hunchback as well,
but
I'm also slouch.
Okay.
I just have bad posture in general.
Yeah, standing up, I'd say I'll do one of these just to be like more relatable.
More relatable. You're down with the kids, aren't you?
Yep. Yes.
You're literally trying to get down to the kids.
We can stop it at that. And then, I'll probably do slash back here as well, to be fair. Anyways. We've got stability. These are as resilient as us. They're the David Goggins of benches.
Benches. Yeah. Are we scared that the water's going to hit the iPad?
A little. Maybe I might have a little sippy.
No, but that's less weight, so it makes it easier
I thought the same thing. But if I keep that level, it's got enough weight.
And then you've put it not on a...
No, but that's going that way now. So there's less...
Come on.
Because the equilibrium of the sediment is basically making sure that the parabola doesn't actually equate to the sedimentary... No, I don't know why I laugh.
No, the gravitational center is leaning towards that way, which means it needs more force for it to be able to push there.
And because of the mood sun rising, you've actually got the tidal waves that actually put the social economic system behind in 2017. And when you minus 17 by 12, what do you have? Pythagoras theorem.
Huh?
Welcome to the SCULPTED Podcast. In today's episode, we're in person again. And... do we say it's my birthday? Nah.
It is your birthday. Should we tell them what date as well? Because they won't know.
Because they won't know. You can do it. Because I'm humble.
Oh, you're humble, is it?
I am the most humble, actually.
September the 12th.
Yes, guys. So
everyone put your birthday wishes in because he really likes his birthday.
I love my birthday.
He loves his birthday.
Put it in your calendar.
Yeah. That's why we're in our birthday hoodies today.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Because our birthday suits...
But what? I think it would be a bit inappropriate if we're in our birthday suits doing the podcast.
Yeah. And you know what? We are the most appropriate.
Yeah. That's the only fan sculpted, isn't it?
That's a different type of sculpting. Yeah.
So masks.
Masks. So actually, not the best segue. Not the best segue there.
Not the best segue?
Yeah, masks.
No. What?
OnlyFans masks. We're talking about metaphorical masks.
Metaphorical mask. Correct.
Now, this was an interesting one for Jack and I because we think about it a lot.
Yes.
And masks, for us, are the biggest safety barrier. Because if you, and maybe this is more on my side, if anyone catches me without a mask, I'm very unlikable.
Very unlikable.
Yeah.
Yeah, okay.
And I've got a lot of, what's it called when you get like a reference from someone? A
reference from someone.
Yeah, if I was to ask you how this person is, what would I call that?
Yeah, it's a reference. Yeah.
I've got a lot of negative reviews.
Really?
On my Yelp page. Yeah.
Of what you really are like.
No, just first time people who I interact with.
Yeah.
Actually, Fuhad and James, they said something similar, where it's like, if a fan comes up to them for the first time, obviously they're going to think they're a prick, because they're not going to be like this.
Yes. I get you. I get you.
So if people see me here, they really think I'm a normal person. But if you meet me for the first time,
yes,
I'm very different.
Yeah, it's hard to live up to the expectations of people.
Yes.
You know what I mean? When you're seen as like edited and positive and
because this is authentic and raw for us, right?
Yes.
But put me in a social setting.
Yeah.
Put me in a different environment. I'm going to be a very, very different person.
Yes. But I think that's everyone. When you said you're unlikable, I think it's just because you're different. And that would be everyone if they were just to show their true motivations all the time. They would just be seen as different, and different is a bit like scarring, isn't it?
It's confrontational. It's uncomfortable as well. That's one thing that I think, is that I can make people feel bad just because of my actions. Not even who I am.
Your actions.
Yeah. The consequence of my actions is a representation.
But that's not your intention.
Exactly. But the example I'll give you is, you remember where I told you about that I've already kind of gone in a little bit too deep here, but let's save the sentence. But you remember I told you about how I was speaking with someone and they said that they've done something before.
Yes.
And they've only done it once.
Yes.
And I'm like, okay, yeah.
Yes.
And then I say, I've never done it before. And then they're like, oh, I feel so bad because I've only done it once. And it's like, I make them feel bad.
Yes.
Just because I've never done something before.
No, but that's you showing...
Fix your hoodie.
You being authentic.
Yeah, it is. Yeah, but exactly. So me being authentic is almost offensive to someone if they don't know who I am.
Yeah. But then how do you ever form deeper connections with people if you're not able to show your real self? Christ, this is a shambles.
Yeah, the wind. Anyways, shouldn't be caught on microphone. It's a difficult thing to get around, right?
Yes.
Like, for me to be likable, I would say that you have to know me so much that that's just a part of my character, not me trying to like limitate you. I'm not trying to flex on you 24/7.
Yeah.
Although I do, because
it's a comedic effect.
Exactly.
Yeah.
So
he's learnt that recently. He's trying to increase his sense of humor.
Yeah.
It needs work.
It does need fine tuning.
Fine tuning.
Yeah, it's like a guitar.
No, I think it's more open heart surgery, if I'm honest with you.
See, and this is Jack's truest version of himself. Also, very offensive, if I may say so.
Always very offensive, always.
But you know what?
I mean well.
Yeah, don't we all?
Don't we all? Yep.
Again,
distracted. What was your point?
When are we not?
What was your point?
It's difficult to be likable. Oh, this is what we spoke about this earlier in the week. If you have a very developed personality, to where you're hyper aware of things, you become less likable, and you start to like people less.
Yes. Yeah.
Have you got any moments in your life where that's clear?
I think you just become more like thoughtful of their true motivations, don't you?
Okay. We spoke about this even today, right?
Yes.
With altruism.
Yes.
And the true intentions of being associated with
Yes. And that's the thing. We've got to the stage where a lot of our masks are removed, and we can have these chats because we know that we've done the introspection and the awareness that saying like relationships, this was our example, saying that relationships to an extent are transactional. If you were to say that to someone who hasn't really thought about that, would come across very manipulative.
Yes.
Whereas because we know that we both don't mean it in a manipulative way, we mean it more in like what is the true intentions behind behavior, and because we know how we behave in general, we can tell. So I think it is very interesting with like masks and how to, the more awareness you do, the more you realize you need to keep more masks on. Yes.
Facts. And that's like a really difficult thing to get over. And this is like the point with a developed personality. You become more aware. It becomes more difficult to become likable. It becomes more difficult to foster new relationships.
Yeah.
But with the relationships you already have the masks down with, it probably deepens them a little bit more.
Yes.
Because then you can be aware of how to, again, manipulate. But take that word with a grain of salt. Because when we use the word manipulate, we're just aware that that's a byproduct of getting to know someone.
Yes.
It's like, I will purposely ask a specific question to solicit a specific response or to solicit a specific emotion. Like if I was to ask you and I saw that you were reluctant on a specific point because you didn't want to talk about it, but I know that it's better for us to talk about it, I would probably get us into a safe environment so that we're not in a crowd of people that can hear us. I'd get into a, reasonably intimate environment. One example that I'll give is I think that being in a car with someone is a very, very easy way to let go of a few masks because it's intimate. You're next to each other, but you're not giving eye contact.
Yeah, you're not facing each other either.
Yeah, and
definitely for guys as well.
For guys especially, yeah.
And that's the thing. If you see guys speak to each other, they've shown that if they're stood, if you see at a party, I know you go to a lot of them.
Oh, I love parties.
Next time you're at a party, watch how guys speak to each other.
Yeah.
They're always on 45 degrees, sort of facing each other. Whereas if do you want me to get a protractor out for you?
Well, it just looks like we're on 45.
Yeah, exactly. Well, we've done it on purpose, right? Whereas girls will stand completely opposite to each other.
Yeah.
And I think it does come from like evolutionary for guys. It almost means that there's like confrontation if you're standing across from someone. Yeah. So it is true what you're saying. The intimate, like, sort of not having to face you, it feels more safe.
Yeah. It's a confrontational thing to like delay a mask, you could say, right?
Yeah.
And that's where the word of manipulation, it's not to extort someone, it's more to get to know them or make them feel comfortable.
Yes.
And that is done on purpose.
Yes.
When it comes to furthering a relationship.
Yeah.
Which can be used for good. Also can be very much used for bad.
Yes.
Like if I was a CIA... They're not going to hire me if I started the name. Is it?
Here's your second chance.
Please, guys, this is my resume for the CIA. If you are watching, I did that on purpose to manipulate you and to make me look more relatable to you guys.
It is your dream to work for the CIA.
And I would be in it for the love of the game.
You would. Oh my God, the most.
One of the few things I would be in it for
the most love of the game.
There's only two things
that would be the only passion. You'd finally believe in passion.
Yeah, that could get me across the
line. You'd finally admit that passion exists if you get hired by the CIA.
We only need one thing to actually confirm.
Yes.
To confirm it, and that could be it for me.
It would.
But if I don't, then I still don't believe in it.
Yeah.
Unless I got like a Minecraft streaming deal, that could also put me across the line.
They're your two gold medal achievements.
Of the most.
I know.
But guess what? Neither make the career that I want.
Really?
Yeah. Oh, Minecraft could. Living on your own time, freedom.
The career that you want.
Live a life of freedom.
Okay.
The CIA is very bound to their system. You also can only think in a certain way because they indoctrinate you into the way of thinking. You can't think outside of the CIA thought pattern.
Yes.
Because you can't think that a multi-million-dollar business is better than working for the CIA.
Yeah.
Although the two can be very similar in each
very
pursuit.
cultish, isn't it? It makes you...
Exactly.
Yes.
And we love cults around here.
We do. Well, going back to your point about how it's a bit confrontational.
Yeah.
And how it's more difficult the more awareness you do to drop masks. What I find is I have dissonance with how it aligns with me. If I'm trying to put a mask on to say, like, be introduced to a new person, but I know that the mask I'm putting on doesn't really align with what I'm truly like. Do you find the same thing? It does contradict.
Yeah.
Yeah.
The example that I gave you was like when I'm speaking with my employees.
Yeah.
And it's like, how can I... And there is a very authentic version of myself that I give to my employees, but there is a barrier that I will not let cross.
Yes.
Because I say this with utmost respect to them, but the fact is, they are employees to me, which means that I have the final say.
Yes.
Because if they don't do what I want, they don't get paid.
Yes.
That is the biggest form of transaction.
Yeah.
So I will be very authentic with them. I will give them vulnerable stories, which I have given them.
Yeah.
But I won't necessarily be as relatable to them unless I wanted something from them.
Yeah.
Like if I wanted them to be a little bit more diligent, if I wanted them to be a little bit more passionate, I had to work, I love to work, passion, you know?
Yes.
Then maybe I would get more intimate and maybe layer a few marks, you know?
Yeah.
But...
And that's the thing with manipulation as well, right?
Yeah.
That's not manipulating them, but that's just knowing human behavior, right? And that only comes from the awareness, the self-reflection we've done and thought, what makes us passionate, what makes us really believe in something.
Yes.
So, and it's not manipulating, it's just kind of being aware of human behavior.
Exactly.
So I'm just trying to defend your manipulation allegations that I've seen in the comments.
Yeah, please stop commenting that, by the way. It doesn't look good.
That's my burner account, don't worry.
I was wondering why they all said like JM, like 8, 9, 0, 10.
Yeah, the fan mail for me as well. Same account.
Oh gosh, yeah. I've got rid of our PO box because they've been sending letters and it's a bit much.
Yeah.
Anyways, it is very like purposefully manipulative, but it's not manipulation because manipulation has a negative connotation to where it's like you're trying to get something to exploit them.
Yes.
Where the manipulation that we're talking about is trying to help them become better.
Yeah.
The same process, but wanting a different outcome.
Yes. Yeah.
That was a crazy joke. I'm not gonna say that.
So, in this sense,
Yeah.
the outcome actually matters, not the intention. Because you could say, for both,
Yes.
the intention is to manipulate, for the want of a better word,
Yeah.
their behavior to get an outcome. And so now this is becoming a bit philosophical.
Yeah.
But
this is the safe space for it, my friend.
yeah, I know. Safe space.
We will bully each other still.
Oh,
it's
for
not
sure.
it's not that much.
We
of a
do
safe
use
space.
our insecurities against each other.
And that's how it should be.
That's really the true sense of lowering your mask, isn't it?
Isn't it?
That's how you know it's a safe space.
That's how you know.
100%.
Until it gets exploited, and then you start sending fan mail and start commenting in the YouTube section.
And now every nice thing you do, I now know that it's manipulative, as opposed to just out of the kindness of your heart, because I know you've got no kindness in your heart.
Exactly.
What was my point?
We love to yap.
Oh, I've got no idea what I was about to say.
It feels so great to do it.
Oh, it feels so good. What was my point?
Yeah.
I've got no idea what your point was.
Yeah.
Where
manipulation being... the outcome.
Yes. Because usually you'd judge someone based on... Not purely, but you'd think intention.
Yeah.
Sometimes you have to act in a way that might have negative consequences, but for the overall good of the person, it's... Like, the intention is good, but the outcome may be bad. But in this, you are kind of relying on it for it to be a good outcome.
Yeah.
But then, who's the judge of it being a good outcome? You know what I mean? That's when you fall into your dictator, ideology.
Yeah. Gosh, it's interesting that people who are leaders often make jokes about being dictators.
Yes.
Not going to give the examples, but they're prominent figures in today's world.
It's only taken you 10 minutes to bring them up again.
Oh, it's almost like I study them.
Almost. You've got their images on speed dial, don't you?
That wasn't...
I don't know how you have an image on speed dial, but we'll roll with it.
Yeah. I won't admit to it, but if the FBI did raid my phone, there would be some reason to
FBI, CIA... Honestly,
watching.
You're on your villain arc, aren't you?
Been on it.
Only recently.
It's just not true. For the sake of this podcast episode and the narrative that we're talking about, it's just not true. But yeah, I always think about how many lists that I'm on. For like...
I thought we were talking about masks.
Yeah, hold up. And this is where I get too intimate. I shouldn't be talking about this.
No.
Anyways, just a random caveat.
Isn't it caveat, not caveat?
I like caviar, so I think caveat. Like caviar on
Why
a yacht.
the OT?
Because it's like people who... so far off topic.
We're way too comfortable.
Yeah, we're way too comfortable, and I'm not going to let myself land, but I will just say for the sake of the narrative.
Yeah.
caveat.
Maybe we just sack off the masks and just be like a catch up for Nick's birthday, and then we sort of talk about masks, and we just chat about random.
And that will be the exact display of how masks work.
That's a fine.
Oh, so I also had one, but I let it go.
Did you?
Yeah.
Yeah, so that's a fine. Oh, you admitted.
Yeah, well, you didn't know before, so you admitted.
I admit it.
Yeah.
So I'm more honest than you.
You're more honest than me.
I've got more masks down because I wasn't scared of the.
Yeah, that's a great point. But I was speaking at the time.
Yeah, so
Don't
you're
you love how we
you're
go
a bit
off topic?
selfish.
Yeah.
How did we even
How did we
do?
get-
What about caviar? Did you want to say something about caviar?
You know what? We're gonna
Have you ever had caviar?
see. This is the problem.
What? No.
When we ask a question that's we entertain something that's completely off topic.
Fine, it's okay.
Yes, I have had caviar.
The little black egg things.
Yeah,
right?
yeah. They taste nice.
Yeah, it's not bad.
Do you
But
like
they're
them?
not. They're not worth the amount of money.
Yeah.
Don't you agree?
For the taste, it's not worth it.
Like, give me a half chicken and some chips. I'd much rather.
And it would be so much cheaper.
I'd love a half chicken and chips.
You reckon?
Don't you reckon?
Oh, we've got schnitzel tonight.
Schnitzel.
Do you like schnitzel?
I do like schnitzel.
Yeah.
I'm not going to stay for dinner though. I'm not overstaying my welcome.
Yeah, don't worry. You would have been asked to leave.
Thank you.
We're in that situation where we can ask each other to leave our houses
Yeah.
because we've got masks down.
Yeah. You're not actually allowed in my house,
I actually haven't been to Jack's house,
and he's not allowed.
and I'm not allowed. And that's not because I'm on a list.
No, because no. Yeah, there's kids in my cut. There's kids in my house, and he's not allowed near them. But somehow I am.
Oh, Josh, that's what we call
Make it make sense.
an alley-oop. I think the kids call that.
Alley-oop.
Yeah.
You love an alley-oop, don't you? Mid-air.
Mid-air. Oh, I shouldn't have gone. Oh, the visual I had. No one's gonna understand what we're talking about.
Is this staying in?
This is staying in. Oh my days, we are so far off topic.
There's no topic.
There is zero
topic.
Oh gosh. Okay,
I think we just have a joke and then we sort of talk about masks.
masks. Yeah,
That's perfect.
masks. Brilliant.
Okay, and we'll go back to masks.
Yes,
We'll leave the caviar
we will.
and the lists.
And
What is your?
I hope my hand covered that. Let me just make a marker in case it didn't.
We'll leave everything in. We'll cut that.
And a mask.
Yeah, masks. What is your framework for masks?
Okay. My framework for masks is that it is a safety barrier
Yes.
for human interaction. The framework is difficult because I could be put into a situation that is the exact same across the board, but there could be one variable that changes each time,
Yeah.
and I will react very differently between each. If I was to have a cold approach to someone, I would act very different the first time I met them.
Yes.
If someone was meeting them for the first time as well. So if it was you and I, and we were meeting that person over there for the first time,
Yeah.
and you don't know them, and we introduce ourselves to them, my approach would be very different. But if you knew that person and you were introducing me to them for the first time,
Yes.
it would be very different again.
Yep.
Now, if I knew them and you didn't know them,
Gee whiz, talk about Pythagoras. My
Oh,
goodness
yeah.
me, there's equations to this
the
one.
parabolas over here.
The parabolas
Yeah.
are crazy.
Circumference and everything.
Yeah, diameter. You know.
Yeah, I don't know, but failed maths. So, in that case, arguably the same action.
Yeah.
Well, no, it is the same action, yet with one variable changing each time. Like in this example, for me, if I'm meeting someone for the first time, and even the environment actually has a massive deal. If I was in a theater, for example, I'd probably be really quiet, and they'd probably see me as someone who's really quiet.
Yes.
But if I was in a stadium, I'd be really loud because everyone else is really loud. If
Yep.
it was nighttime, I'd probably be a bit more reserved because
Yep.
no one wants to come across too aggressive.
Yep.
If it was the morning, I'd probably say, hi. You know, like when you walk past someone, hi.
Yes.
And I'd be like, hi, good morning.
Yes.
So all of these different variables come into play, and these are all subconscious.
All subconscious.
All subconscious. So there is no equation
Yeah.
to masks.
Yeah.
It is literally just every single variable will change your interaction.
Yeah. Yeah.
And I think that is there for a good reason.
Oh, and that's what we've spoken about as well when you explained your framework to me. I went to why it's evolutionary beneficial
Yes.
for survival, and based on why, like you said before, why you want to relate and you don't want to be different, because it is a bit, it's a bit scarring and it's confrontational.
Yeah.
You want to be part of the in-group because, like, back in the old days, back in my day, back in my day, if you were part of the out-group, it could mean death.
Yes.
And I think our bodies are just wired, our brains are wired to keep serving that purpose. And that's like, they've seen the development of the prefrontal cortex, which is like the executive functions and decision-making part of your brain.
Yeah.
It actually developed most 400,000 years ago for hominins. I've been practicing that word, by the way. I hope I said it well.
And I caught him practicing it.
Yeah, caught me practicing. Yeah. That's all masked
in the act. Yeah.
In the act of practicing that word. 400,000 years ago, when it was a change of environment and climate change began to happen.
Okay, conspiracy theorist. Frick.
That was you. I'm off your back. I'm standing on the shoulder of giants here, mate. I'm on your pause. Oh goodness me! I can't make a good point because of
distractions. Oh,
all the inappropriate jokes. But yeah, because hominins had to make so many more decisions to navigate their environment, they actually showed that the prefrontal cortex grew most during that time.
Yeah. And
because that's what the modern brain looks like now, it's developed so much because we still need to navigate our environment. So our brain is kind of, it's evolved for a purpose, so that we can navigate these environments. And like you said, it's subconscious. So that happens without us even realizing.
Yeah.
Yeah.
It's so intricate and it makes so much sense. And it makes me think.
And it just backs up your intelligence, because you just thought of this, but look at all the research, bias. Confirmation bias.
It's almost as if like I'm just a genius.
Yeah.
Merely a donkey.
Merely a donkey.
Say it again for me, please.
Merely a donkey.
Thank
Nicholas. You. Merely a donkey. Happy birthday. Can we all sing happy birthday to you?
The most awkward.
Oh, that is the worst.
The worst.
Honestly, that is the worst.
Actually,
it makes your skin crawl.
My grandma does a very good job of coping with it.
How? Does she sing along? No. No way. Yeah. So you really embrace it. Because I feel like if you resist it, it's worse.
Yeah.
You have to embrace it.
I think you have. It's a little bit humiliating.
Yeah, it is. But then walking around with my face anyway, it's quite humiliating anyway. So I should be used to it.
That's unnecessary, Jack. We're here to shed a positive light on this world. And we're all beautiful in our own right. And there's a person for everyone.
Is that what your mum told you?
My grandma also told me that one.
Okay.
Yeah. That was a dark part of my life. But anyways. This never happened, guys, by the way. This is just for comedic effect, right?
Yeah. We might have to cut this. It was like when you for comedic purpose the other day.
She listens to these episodes sometimes, so we're definitely going to have to put a marker there.
Yeah, we'll put a marker there.
Yeah. Anyway,
for comedic effect.
For comedic effect, yeah, we'll just cut it. And then it's, that's good actually. Anyways, my grandma deals with it.
That is probably a good way to do it.
I think it is.
How could you sing that again for me? I missed it.
That's gonna, someone's gonna, edit someone up. Yeah, crazy.
You're gonna look like our dancing queen, mate. Hey.
Thankfully, that's an inside joke.
Obviously, I manipulate our audience. They're not gonna know that.
Great point.
What was the point that we were speaking about? So many topics
ago.
I made the comment about prefrontal cortex. You were going to say something about intricacy.
Okay. Do you think that we, as human beings, are going to be evolving over the next few years with what's going to be coming our way next? Whether it's AI, whether it's a new challenge that arises, is there something, a test of time, that is going to be the new... Because we can't conceptualize what it's going to be.
Yes.
Just like 400,000 years ago, they weren't able to conceptualize what it would be because it's not formed.
Yeah.
You only know what you know.
Yeah.
And whenever you look for something that's new, you only get confirmed. Like I was saying to you with aliens. Wait, was I saying this yet?
Alien.
Holy heck. Oh, I was saying this to Alfio about aliens. Okay. I was saying, wow, I don't know why I thought that was you. I was saying people only see aliens.
He must be good looking like me.
He is. Yeah.
Thanks.
I only hang around good looking people. So if you're in my circle,
That's how he's trying to win friends, guys.
So it's a good
He's
point.
been reading about it.
Yeah, don't.
He can't read.
Ebooks, yeah, it's ebooks.
Ebooks.
Anyways, for us, we only see aliens as things that look like us. Even though, like, I don't believe necessarily in aliens. I don't have a formalized opinion there.
Okay.
But
Yet.
yes, yeah, I'll get there.
Yeah.
Not that much of a conspiracy theorist. Lisp theorist, I am.
Got my knee sore.
And my
Sorry.
brain. So we always look for things that replicate ourselves, right?
Yeah.
If we were to look for an alien, we probably wouldn't see it as a little bug or something that actually is probably more alien-like to us. But we think the word alien literally means something like unrecognizable to us,
Yes,
whatever
it
the
does.
true definition is. Yet we see it as just a weird version of humans.
Yes.
Aliens probably aren't. If there are aliens out there, probably not what we think they look like.
Yeah. Yeah.
And we're always looking for things that we know.
Yeah.
And in this case, what do you think the natural evolution could be for humans? We don't know.
We don't know.
Have you got any thoughts?
I don't think we evolved because it was for our survival.
Yeah.
And if you didn't have traits that were beneficial for survival,
Yeah.
they didn't get reproduced, right?
Uh-huh.
But now we're fortunate that it's not really life or death.
Yeah, or they did and cut.
And look where you're sat. That is such a... No, but the traits that... I wouldn't think right now we're in a privileged position where it's not life or death.
Yeah.
But they have shown that your hands, because you hold a phone, the divot between your thumb
Yeah.
and this finger is growing larger
Yep.
to fit your phone.
Mm.
So the body is evolving for what we need to do now.
Yeah.
But in terms of how your brain would evolve, I'm not too sure. Maybe with AI it could do.
Yeah.
And I mean, even I think it follows behavior. So if you see the COVID generation of children who did online learning,
Yeah.
they've shown that they've got a less respect for older people because they don't get the immediate feedback.
Oh, yeah, wow.
You know how you learn how to like put on a mask
Yeah.
for authority figures when you're young?
Mm.
Yeah, they haven't learnt that.
Yeah, I haven't
So
learned that.
You don't show respect to anyone, so I think
Great
that's
point.
just that's not COVID.
Yeah, that's across the board, yeah.
I'm blaming COVID for these young kids, right?
Yeah, well, that's an easy scapegoat. At least I'm taking responsibility, not blaming it on
Yeah,
something
but you don't want
that's
to
a myth.
change. That's the biggest thing.
Personal attack, crazy.
I'm just foreboding when you is that the word? Is that the word?
Is that a word?
Ward. Thinking about hospital again.
Yeah. Oh, this time last year. That's where I was. I probably should give context.
Much happier place. Hey?
Yeah, much happier place is the word. Yeah.
Yeah. It was
I
cool.
won't give context. That's a cliffhanger.
Cliffhanger.
Yeah.
Next episode. Tune in.
Tune in.
What were we saying?
Wow. VAR? It would be great. It would be.
Oh, it would be fantastic.
A little TV up there would be nice.
We
actually.
need, you know how Shits and Gigs has a person behind the camera?
Rem!
Rem. We need someone who keeps us on task.
I actually had this thought today.
That would be awesome.
I actually had this thought today.
Who are we going to add?
I reckon I could get Alfio
You reckon?
as the Proddy. Proddy Alfio.
Proddy Alfio.
Yeah.
To keep us on task.
Yeah. Only thing is,
Would Alfio get distracted too?
the most.
The most distracted?
Oh, he'd be more distracted than us.
That's not good.
It's not good.
That's good.
We'd have to train someone up.
We'd have 5 hours of filming for a 1 hour focused...
Yeah. And we'd have to get Ellis to edit the videos for us.
Who's Ellis?
The other one.
Oh, is he?
Yeah. Because
So-
I got Ellis, Rem, James, and Fuhad. I got a 4-man team.
4-man team. We don't have that budget.
We don't have that budget.
We just have a cameraman.
And the mic.
Cut. I've got no idea what I was saying.
Oh!
Um,
These episodes are the funnest.
what was I saying? About the children.
Yes.
Yes. Well, that's how behaviors evolved, right?
Yes.
Because they have less of a need to show respect because they're not getting immediate feedback.
Yeah.
So their behavior's changed. Whether that goes to a certain extent with AI and where the world's going, that maybe parts of the brain change, maybe behavior follows that. I'm not too sure, but I think that could be it. But I think definitely social interactions will change.
Okay. Little thing that I've been doing for the past 10 to 15 minutes.
Okay.
Which links nicely with what you just said there.
Manipulating me again, are you? That's not good. A little bit.
A little. I've been copying your hood positioning.
Have you actually?
Yep.
Goodness me, I'm leaving the podcast. He's manipulating me. No, you haven't. You had it off. And I didn't have it off.
And you took it off. Mine fell off.
Yours fell off.
And then you took yours off. And then
I didn't take mine off. Mine fell off.
Okay. And
I'm
from
trying to keep mine on.
Yeah, masks. I then saw yours go off, and then I was like, I'm gonna copy you.
Okay.
And
I've been feeling less comfortable as the podcast has been going on. It's not the answer you wanted.
Correlation without causation. So, yeah.
No, that's your personality, not your mimicry. We're talking about mimicry. That was the point I had.
Okay.
High five. Well done. That was brilliant.
Yeah. Segue.
God, we're good at this, hey?
Exactly.
That is in evolutionary biology.
Yeah.
Animals do that, so that you see it with butterflies.
Yeah, okay.
And it's for survival again.
Yeah.
And that is whether humans do that in interactions.
Yeah.
And try to fit in with the in-group.
Yeah.
That's their own version of mimicry. What was your point about the hoods?
Character influenced by status. Or sorry. So the framework that I've got is like a 4 kind of variable situation.
Yes.
And it is the character or the perception of someone. Like when we were speaking about the person over there, imagine in this situation, I'm going to put another twist on it. Imagine if that person is attractive. Then I'm going to have less... no. You know what I mean. I've got a better chance of speaking to them.
Oh, really? Yeah, I get you.
Whereas if they were... We're politically correct.
Objectifying again.
No. Yeah.
I don't see people for their looks.
Neither. That's really shallow, actually.
Very, very shallow.
Really shallow.
Very shallow.
Anyways, transactions.
Yep.
So that's another variable. If they were attractive, if they were unattractive, if they were
a football coach that wanted to decide your career and life,
then
you know what I mean?
Oh, I would do the most for them.
Yeah.
The most. Or if they were
the most, that's a bit sus.
Yeah, we'll move on.
Cyan sus.
Yeah, move on. So if they were someone of influence, if that was Stephen Bartlett there, then I'd act pretty normal because he's just merely a donkey as well.
He is merely a donkey.
I saw him spit on himself.
Spit on himself.
Speaking of which, can we get a slow-mo on that one? Yes, that was good.
I'm trying to be more relatable to Stephen Bartlett.
Yeah, good.
Because I know he watches.
Stephen, if you're listening, send me a mess. I don't know. He's not listening.
Send me a DM.
Yeah, I don't know. What's that even going to get me?
Yeah, we'll go for coffee.
Yeah, anyways.
Speaking of attractive people, my hood's about to fall off. Good man.
Sam, that's weird. Off topic again. If that person...
What is the topic?
If that variable
yeah.
is changing, it can also change. As soon as I see someone, they could be like from the behind, they could be different to how they are in person. If I look at someone, okay, good example.
Why are you looking at them from behind?
Okay, they're speaking to someone else over there. I'm in a social setting, and then I go up to them and I say, yeah, hi, and then,
yeah.
Then I start to treat them differently, or I perceive myself to be different.
Yes.
Right? It could be that it was a guy instead of who I thought it was.
He's so funny, he laughs at his own jokes before he even says it.
I'm just thinking of all the possibilities that could come from me saying that, and I'm not going to go there. But that's where that perception can really, really alter the way I carry myself.
Yes.
So if it was someone who I was thinking is really attractive, and then I go up to them, and this could be guy or girl, because we're inclusive around here.
Okay. Yeah.
And
not off camera, we're not. And that's speaking for you, not me.
And that's Anyways, so if I was to then go up to someone and then treat them a certain way, and then even halfway through the conversation figure out something about them that I didn't expect, it could be like a political view, and then I start to treat them differently because of it.
Yes.
Subconsciously, all of these little things change.
Yeah.
And then there's also an objective in doing it. So if I've been influenced by the character or the perception of someone, then my objective may change. If I then find out that they're a millionaire, then I'm going to start, flexing about my multi-million-dollar company that I might not have flexed to someone who was attractive because I was trying to be humble. You know me.
Yeah.
The most humble.
No, but I know you. If it was someone attractive, you would be flexing your multi-million-dollar company.
Oh my gosh! And I just sold this company for 20 million.
No, you'd get some paid actor to come ask for your autograph.
Don't expect me like that, Jack. This is a safe space.
Lies. Lies.
Oh gosh.
Not lies.
Not lies.
Not lies at all.
Anyways, but that's the objective, right? The objective behind it could influence the mask that I then approach with, and it could be I either suppress or I exert a specific character trait, which is another mask. Yeah. And then from the objective, you've also got hidden aspects. So it could be to unravel a mask. So let's say, we'll give an example. If you and I are here, we're at a conference, and then I see someone over there who I go and meet. Networking, Hi, nice to meet you. And then they turn around and they're really attractive.
Okay.
Are
you speaking to them when they're facing the other way first?
You know me. It's my style. I'm shallow like that.
Yeah, I get you.
And then, go up to them, meet them and whatnot. And then they are someone who I think could be an investor in my company.
Yes.
And then my objective changes.
Gee whiz. Battling the elements.
Yeah. We take risks in this podcast. Yeah. It's all good.
You can speak.
You can speak.
I'm okay. Thanks.
I'm all good. We don't show our flaws on camera.
They're not flaws.
They would blow away, yeah.
They would.
Thank you. We'll have them after. If then... And also, in this example... Weird. The person who I introduced myself to was like an attractive guy. I say that objectively, not
I think it's a better example if you say they could be a possible investor or get you to where you want to go.
But I use that they're an attractive person because maybe they will be more egotistical. So let me land.
That's just making assumptions, no?
It is, yeah. But that's what masking is. Because guess what? Imagine if they weren't egotistical. Yeah, that's actually a great point. So that's why I prefaced a guy here.
Yeah.
So I might be assuming because they're objectively attractive to most people, I would then assume that they're probably egotistical. So then I'm thinking I've got to then impress them because I want them to be a part of my company. Yeah. So I then start being Lil Tay and I say, yeah, my Lamborghini.
Lil Tay.
Yeah. Start flexing. Yeah.
Down with the kids, aren't you? Lil Tay.
I'm not down with the kids, Jack. I'm not. I swear.
Yeah.
Anyways, so that objective changes. The way that I then portray myself and the way I start saying things is changed again. And because of my ulterior motive, you could say, it's influenced and I start to do things that I maybe shouldn't be doing.
Yes.
But because I think that I should be doing it, because of my perception of them, I think that they'll want to hear it because I see them as someone who might be this.
Yep.
It's a safety net.
Yep.
And then I might shift again and I might go I might make it more intimate. I might break the physical touch barrier. I'll be like, yeah, touch their leg.
Yeah.
And then maybe guess what? For them, they then take a mask. Sorry, they put another mask on because maybe they were too intimate.
Yes.
Maybe you're getting mixed messaging.
Yes.
And then that person starts to put all their masks back on, and then you start to try and push a little bit more, or you start to put all your masks back on, and then it becomes way too awkward. And craziest part of this, all of this is subconscious.
All of it.
All of it. It's so intricate that there is literally no formula.
Yeah.
No formula. Because you could also put that in everything that I just outlined. You put that in the reverse order, and that still makes sense.
It does make sense. And they actually talk about sort of what you were saying with, I think on was it Stephen Bartlett's podcast? The dating expert said, you've got an intrinsic mate value. And it's subconscious, I think. So they quantify it in terms of score out of 100.
Okay.
And it's your perception of it, right? You probably have a like self-perception of what you are.
Yeah.
And then a perception of what the person is that you're going to approach or whatever.
Yeah.
And based on how you feel like you compare to them, your behavior will change.
Wow.
Christ on a bike. Watch the waters.
So Lord, I just pray for this computer right now.
Honestly, this is the most resilience I've ever shown in my entire life. At least it's on camera.
At least it's on camera this time,
This is the biggest hardship I've been through. I'm an Eastern Suburbs princess. This is not good.
Because all of those training sessions when we were pushing ourselves to get out there, no one was watching.
Speak for yourself. I wasn't working hard. All work's light work.
Okay, crazy
I'm
flex.
like Ronnie Coleman.
I mean, whenever I saw a car pull
Light
up...
work, baby.
Yeah.
What?
Whenever I saw a car pull up to the oval that I showed you...
Yeah.
Is that a Western Sydney Wanderers scout?
No.
Is that a Manchester United scout?
It probably was, but they kept walking.
They kept walking. Yeah. I honestly reckon that happened once. I reckon that... I think that I did see this one car come down to training one time that I swear to you I've seen before. That was a coach.
Yeah, probably at Terrigal United. Nothing wrong with Terrigal United.
Nothing wrong with Terrigal United at all. And if you are looking
hit
for
my DMs if you want me to play.
Yeah.
I can't run, but I can play.
We can play, and we...
We're not a package deal.
Okay, I thought we were, but...
when we're 40.
40, yeah.
Yeah.
Gosh.
Mad.
So far off topic. Terrigal United, I'm interested.
Me too.
Yeah? You could move down Central Coast.
Down? Up?
Oh, I don't know.
It's up.
Yeah.
North, buddy.
Well, I believe in the flat earth, so... South in my end. Yeah. You know me. Wow. I love topics. Where are we? Masks.
No idea.
So... Interaction equals environment.
Close this loop for me, please.
Yeah. Where on earth? We should probably... Where?
I'm feeling the Abilene paradox right now, buddy.
Quick definition of what that means?
No, it's alright.
Okay, alright. We'll get back to topic then. Can you give any prominent examples in your life where you have masked a lot and then gotten down through the layers?
Through the layers.
Outside of us, because we've given that example before.
Probably through a lot of football examples.
Yeah.
I've had... You would know it with football as well.
Yeah.
When you're in a team, those people in the team... Are you copying my mask again?
No, I just realised I wouldn't be able to see me.
It's probably good for the. It's probably good for the viewers, mate.
See, I alley-ooped you there.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Set me up. High five. Wow.
Not into self-deprecation like that.
Okay.
On the podcast.
Fair enough.
Yep.
Yeah, with football, you would know as well. When you become teammates with someone, they're so close to you for that period, and then if you leave that team, you hardly speak to them.
Hardly.
Which is. And definitely football, because it's not a safe space at all.
Oh, it's not.
And it's definitely not an emotional safe space. That's for certain.
Yeah.
So there are so many masks you put on in the football environment. So I've had really good friends who now I'm friends away from football. We're both not playing football to that level anymore, but we still now know each other to a complete different extent.
Yeah.
And like we spoke about, it was... But with the friendship circles, it's the shared experiences, but then only through now that we have an excuse to see each other that's not football, that we have seen that ideologies align and that you can see more of a personality. Other than that, I've got a lot of examples where I've been hurt because I've put masks down too early. But not through fault of my own. I think just through the situation.
Yes.
I think
expand.
I've suffered with bad anxiety in the past, and because of the situation and how I was feeling, I couldn't really. I wasn't in a place that I could control that.
Yeah.
So I was in not safe spaces with people that I wouldn't want to reveal that to.
Yeah.
And I did. And it has hurt me before.
Yeah.
It hasn't been received well. They've seen it as weakness.
Yep.
And that is it's like we spoke about with why it's evolutionary beneficial, right?
Yes.
It is for survival and it is to keep you in a safe space.
Yeah.
And so I've definitely seen the value of not showing everything and sort of recognizing that there are people you should share everything with and people that you keep a few masks on.
Yeah. It's so difficult to figure out also who and like where someone is, because it means that like it takes a lot of time to figure out who you can actually trust.
Yeah.
And who is going to receive things well. Like we spoke about this in a work context, to where in football, like if I was to ever say to one of my teammates, it's maybe not the best example actually, but for us, we were very different in football than into every other endeavor of our lives. Like our perception, we wanted to look professional. We wanted to act professional in terms of we'd get there first, leave last. We'd, be doing the extras. We'd be making sure our shoelaces are tied up before we get into the training field. Because if you see anyone, kneeling down before training starts and, go for the warm-up lap and you see someone struggling behind, schmuck.
Yeah, schmuck.
Not naming any names, but there's a few that have come to mind.
Okay.
And in that case, like, they have probably too many masks off, but that helps them in that environment. Where for us, we kind of had so many masks on that it hindered us.
We did.
And we talk about this a lot, that being too self-aware.
We were too aware for football.
Yeah.
In that the place where it wasn't safe to be emotional.
And nor should it necessarily be, because in football, you are so heavily judged for every single action that...
But I don't agree with that. Because we were speaking about it before. Yeah. When did we play best?
Oh, okay, yeah.
When you were free. Yeah. And when you're not, I think you're most free when you don't have the masks on.
Yeah.
When you don't really care about the consequences.
Yeah.
And that's the thing with why it's beneficial for survival.
Yes.
Is because masks go on when you're aware of the consequences that could happen as a result.
Yes.
If you act in not a desirable way.
Yeah.
Whereas I think that is the problem with football and sport in general.
Yeah.
You see, when players are confident, their level is so different to when they're not confident because they're not fearful that they might get dropped. They don't care about the consequences.
Yeah.
And facilitating that safe environment, I think, is important for sport, elite sport, or elite performance in general, I think.
Yeah.
Business for sure.
That was my point. You just got there quicker than I did. The reason why I was saying that it's actually not beneficial, it's beneficial in football to not care, is because it goes against every single evolutionary trait.
Yes.
It shouldn't be that in terms of success in the sport, because for success in the sport, like we were just like a more raw and refined version. We were more a trained, refined version of what we thought it should be.
Yes.
Yet reality is that for a high performance environment, it didn't need that.
Yes.
Which is counter to what we truly wanted and believed in.
Yeah.
And in that case...
Well, it was probably because we've done the awareness. We had to put more masks on.
Yeah.
Whereas the people who haven't or don't have that process of thinking, they don't have to put as many masks on.
Yeah.
So they find it easier to, play with freedom, not think about the consequences, and go against really the evolutionary survival mechanism.
Yeah, 100%. And that's the real main point for football, I think, is that it is against survival mechanisms to be risky, to try and experiment.
Yeah.
Because survival doesn't allow you to do so.
Yeah.
If there was a saber-toothed tiger and 9 times out of 10 it's going to kill me, then I'm not going to go and risk the piece of food on the other side.
Yes.
But in football, it's almost, I wouldn't say it's necessarily like praised or encouraged, but there will be players who will try and do the 9 out of 10 times failure and make it work 1 out of 10 times, and that be the thing that they're known for.
Yeah.
And that's why they're in the starting 11.
Yeah. It's hard to be positively reinforced when you're getting so much negative feedback, right?
Yes. Yeah.
And that's the biggest thing that I felt, that it's what I found really tough with football as well. When I was going through my times of trials and even at training, because training for us was Wembley. It was our cup final every single day, right?
Did you get that? No. That reference?
What?
Did you get that from Big AFC Wimbledon player.
Akinfenwa?
Yeah.
No.
Okay.
We'll keep. He's copying my ideas, is he?
A little bit like
I'll challenge him to a boxing match.
I wouldn't dare try.
God, he'd put me in his protein shake and drink me, wouldn't he? Oh my God, he would squash the living Jesus out of me.
That was was that off the dome?
Yeah.
Fair.
Thank you.
Fair. That was impressive.
Thank you. My phone's ringing again. That's another fine.
See, these are things we don't admit.
Sorry.
You can answer. If it's your dad.
No, it's Mum. Okay. What was I saying?
If training was our Wimbledon.
Yeah, training, and that's the thing.
Sorry, our Wimbledon, Wembley. I said
Wembley.
Akinfenwa because it's Wembley. Yeah.
Yes, Wimbledon. Training was our cup final, right?
Yeah.
And my physiology reflected that. So I don't know about you, but I would have, definitely at trials, it would be that feeling of unease and like out of my comfort zone and anxiety all the time. And your amygdala, which is responsible for your anxiety and the emotional feeling, has a memory as well. So what I've noticed since now that I'm not really serious about football, I'm still playing at UNSW.
Yeah.
And it is mainly to enjoy it and to have a sort of different approach to football. Going to training at the start was very difficult for me because I'd associate football training and the whole process of putting boots on, going out, doing warm-ups, coach speaking.
Being serious.
It was, I had the feeling, even though I wasn't in my brain, I was feeling like my body was all tensed up. I'd have the physiology of anxiety, thinking that I'm going to do that. And that is evolutionary mechanism, right?
Yeah.
It's almost negatively punishing me for that behavior.
Preparing me
for it. Almost like kind of discouraging me from doing that again because it can tell that, well, Jack, that's not good for you.
Yeah.
So, well, it's not good for my knee. Maybe it was right. I should have listened to the bloody feeling.
Yeah.
Christ.
Wow.
Yeah.
And these things we just don't know in the moment.
Yeah. And still probably will make the same mistakes, but that's life, isn't it?
And that is life.
Yeah.
And to bring it full circle here, no, I won't bring it full circle. I actually didn't have a point in that. It just sounded like a good caviar.
Caviar. Good caviar.
Good caviar. Anyways, my point on that would be is that's interesting that for trials that you were like nervous. For me, trials was the best I ever played, which is why I think I played for good teams.
Yeah.
And I was told once by a Sydney FC coach. He was like, "Oh, I remember you in the trial. You were so good. Then when you made your debut, honking. And then I had a really good training session. And he told me, you know what, Nick? I can't wait to see the best of you." Tore my meniscus, and then it's all the worst of me. Got released. But like that to me is so common that I would always be so good in trials that the team would want to sign me there and then I'd fall to the expectations of them, play horribly, and then training would become horrible.
But that's the narrative and that was the same with me. I always did so well in trials.
Yeah.
And that was a aversive narrative to tell myself, right? Because I thought, this anxiety feeling, I'm taking it really serious.
Yeah.
I always do well in trials when I get this feeling.
Yeah.
Let's keep doing that. So training on a Tuesday when we're playing against insert irrelevant NPL team.
Offensive. Rattlemere aren't irrelevant.
Pretty much. I'd happily sign for... No, I wouldn't. I would not happily sign for Rattlemere. What was I saying? Yeah, but it almost... Yeah, I was trying to recreate that feeling because I thought, this is good for me.
Yeah.
This is good for me. But no.
Yeah.
But my point was, it's funny how your brain can remember those emotional moments. It's got an emotional memory and it has associations. So the environment you're in, it associates with a certain feeling.
Yeah.
It's why if you've had a bad anxiety attack or bad experience at one place, next time you go there, you probably feel a bit nervous.
Yeah.
And nothing's there. Nothing's going to harm you there. But your memory associates that emotion with it.
And that can happen with a person as well. And that could be one reason to why whenever you're around someone, that same emotion that you feel may subconsciously make you act differently.
Yes.
So if I was to go to school and this teacher would always scream at me and I felt nervous because, they would always scream at me if I did something wrong, then even if it's a different environment, even if I see them at, you know, the local Coles, just because it's there, I might just even see them. I might even think of them.
Yeah.
It starts to,
Yes.
you know, give me that emotion or that feeling.
Yeah.
And then that's why a new environment is always really nice.
Yes.
And we've spoken about this earlier today with whenever we were at a new team, that would be the best we play because we didn't know the consequence yet. Yeah. And you felt like you were in a safe space. And until you figured out that it wasn't as safe as you originally thought, you then start to fear the consequences of that. Yeah. Which makes you inadvertently perform worse because all you're thinking of is, I don't want it to get to that point again.
Yeah. But I think because we've done so much introspection, I think the only solution for us is to sort of recognize what, like you said, with your 9 values, that if you can live towards that, then you're not like confident, but in a better way, happy with how you're living, more aligned. And I think that's the only solution, is to resist against the fear of the consequence or fear of what people are going to think, judgment. I think really being confident in who you are. Yeah.
Yeah, that is... There's one interesting point that I was thinking of. I can't exactly remember what it was. I think it was talking about... maybe I have it in the Notion. I can't exactly remember what it was. It was...
Poor preparation.
Yeah, poor preparation.
Terrible preparation.
Yeah. I can't remember what it was.
It's nice and warm under these blankets.
It's nice. It's snuggy.
Oh, it's very snuggy.
Yeah, it's snuggy. Did you have any other points? You might be able to reinstate the memory.
Other points? My other point, probably on the evolution part, is there's this thing called prevalence-induced concept change.
Okay.
And they call it the blue dot effect.
Okay.
And it's based on, in our brain, the level of problem that we perceive is all relative. So
yes.
Our ancestors would have, when they're maybe being attacked by a saber-toothed tiger. I don't know if my ancestors did that, but good luck to them.
They're not here to tell the story.
I hope they're well.
Hope they're well.
Hope they're doing well.
Oh, God.
Thanks for the good genetics. Lack of good genetics. Anyway, because that was the biggest problem that they'd... Did you clip that?
No. I remembered my thought.
Okay. Yeah, because that was the biggest problem that they'd deal with. Yeah. It's all relative in your brain. So for us, if we live privileged lives, maybe the biggest thing is, for a kid growing up in school, if they're excluded from a party or from their group of friends.
Never me, by the way.
Never you, because you didn't have friends to exclude you. You set that up for me.
I did.
Again. But see, that's the biggest problem in their life. Yeah. So in contrast, our brains react in the exact same way. Yeah. And that's why, like, the limbic system, which is your brain, which is the emotional part of your brain, that's how anxiety is formed. It's your brain thinking that me being excluded from this party is exactly equivalent to a saber-toothed tiger attacking you. Yeah. Which is, it's good with that awareness though.
Yes.
That sort of, it takes you out of the moment, because if you do feel that anxiety feeling, or you say that you're putting masks on in a certain scenario, you can see that this is my brain thinking I need these protective mechanisms for survival, which would have been helpful back in the day. Yeah. Good luck to my ancestors.
Hope they're well.
But maybe, with this awareness, maybe I don't need to. I don't have to hold on to those masks as tightly.
So, interesting point on that blue dot effect, which, by the way, I think is very, very good.
Thanks, man.
Not that you came up with it, so relax. But
I did.
Yeah, okay, cool. So, how do you think that coexists with privilege? Because if all of my things are relative to only what I know, then are the kids in Africa suffering?
What do you mean?
Are they suffering if...
Yeah, they are suffering. Obviously.
Let me land.
Okay.
So if my struggle of the Wi-Fi connection being the worst thing that I know in my life.
Yes.
And it's all I know, and that's the biggest pain point in my life.
Is that a spider?
Yeah, that is.
On my,
Whoa, whoa, whoa!
Oh, whoa, whoa, whoa! Where is it?
It went on the chair.
Did it?
Yeah. It was fast though.
I think that was the wind. I think it's dead.
Oh, actually, that would make a lot of sense because it was going fast.
I hope it's on my jumper.
No, I said it was going fast.
Oh God, scaring me.
It's
You're
tiny.
manipulating me already.
Yeah. It's literally in his jumper right now.
Sorry?
No.
Sorry?
No, I'm talking about the blue dot effect, Jack.
Say it to my face.
We're at 45 degrees for a reason.
Yeah, true.
So the blue dot effect with privilege, if my worst experience I've ever felt in my life, the most amount of discomfort is poor Wi-Fi connection.
Yes.
And of course, this is an extreme example.
Yes.
But if that's all I know,
Yeah.
then is that, to me, relative to starvation as an African child?
Yes.
So how crazy is that? How does that work with privilege?
Well, it means that you've got less resilience.
Okay.
Which is why it's really important to get out of your comfort zone.
And not take it for granted.
Yeah, 100%
Yeah.
not take it for granted.
Yeah.
And willingly go out of your comfort zone.
Yes.
We're so privileged that we're able to go out of our comfort zone through elite sport.
Yes.
And through that, we've sort of falsely or rightly, we've built the belief that we're capable of doing things because we're able to do this elite sport. Whereas that's a choice to go out of our comfort zone. Whereas, and that's the privilege part, isn't it? Whereas if you're starving in Africa, you don't have the choice. Oh, she was getting something from somewhere. I don't know. Sorry.
All good.
Sorry.
This is a safe space.
Sorry.
You're forgiven.
This is sorry. No, it's not a safe space. Sorry. What?
Literally, this guy's waiting for his fidget spinner to
I can't wait to have a good fidget.
That's a great sound effect.
Cold.
Yeah. Comfort. African.
Oh, no, I just went off the... No, don't worry. I don't need that page anymore. What was my point?
African kids with comfort.
Kids. Yes. Yeah. If you're a child starving in Africa, that's not your choice to be out of your comfort zone.
Yeah.
But unfortunately, your brain would act in the same way as we would when we're dealing with our poor Wi-Fi.
Yeah.
Which I think it is an interesting point for understanding the brain and understanding why you feel and act the way you do.
So this is why I asked this question. In a progressive society, do you not think that the net negative people in the world or the society that we live in are the people who take privilege for granted?
Yeah, they are. Yeah.
So this is why I so strongly believe that if you are privileged, you have a duty to not take it for granted. Because...
100%. And that's one of my big... it's probably for you as well.
Yeah.
One of my biggest motivators.
But I also think you put me onto that, if I'm being honest.
Really?
I would say you put me onto the awareness piece. Yeah, 100%.
Yeah.
And that led into my ideology even more.
Yeah. Because that was my biggest thing with football as well. I always had a chip on my shoulder for that. And now I've got a chip on my shoulder too. And I've got a lot of like confirmation bias. So the fact that now I'm really prioritizing my study.
Yeah.
And my parents sacrificed so much for my football, and I put studies to the wayside a little bit while I was pursuing football. Now I am using that to think, how could I do that when I've got such an opportunity?
Yeah.
And it was like with football, you know, the cliche that, the Brazilian kids, they need it.
Yeah.
I always had the cliche, just because I'm privileged, does that mean that I don't want it as much?
Yeah.
And I think you are right. It is your having privilege. It is your duty to use that for the greater good, I think.
Yeah. It's so difficult to also then interpret that because, like, what does the greater good mean? Because you could have some... I'm not going to say it.
What?
Putting down.
Yeah.
Who thinks that the greater good is doing something that may be a net negative to society.
Yeah.
Because of the way that they think.
Yeah.
And not to say that that's incorrect.
Yeah.
Maybe they are.
Yeah.
Maybe that's just my perception of it. I'm not saying that's my perception of it. But to that, they may be so convinced of something that is a net positive, just as we may be so convinced that us playing football may be a net positive. But guess what? We only know what we know. And maybe us playing football was a net negative to society because they've got two young kids doing a podcast thinking that they're the bee's knees. Merely a donkey.
True, merely a donkey.
And maybe this podcast is a net negative to society.
But I would have thought football was our avenue, and what we're doing now.
Yeah. Wind.
Christ on a bike.
Yeah.
It was our avenue to make our family, like it's definitely for me. Like the opportunities my family's given me, it's the greater good is almost to help repay them, or like make a better life.
Justify it. Almost.
Exactly. Justify it. Like given all the opportunities, how could you turn them down?
Yeah, very much agree. And that's where we would like to imagine everything we've done up until this day.
Yeah.
Has been for a greater good.
Yeah, and that's the thing why we're so a bit too probably obsessed with self-improvement is because we are always thinking, oh, there's more to do.
Yeah.
So, and that is like the ultimate motivator, isn't
Yeah.
it? It's like, how could you pass off any possible opportunities? And the more you develop, the more opportunities come to you.
Yeah.
And with the privilege, we're so privileged to be in the top 0.0001% of the world that like, yeah, it is.
Speak for yourself, ESP.
I am an ESP. Oh, the smell of a latte in the morning. So good, isn't it? Oh.
I don't know what that is, if I'm being honest. I only know the smell of poverty on the Central Coast.
And what did you say just before? The people who have privilege and aren't aware of it, they are...
the bane of this earth.
The bane of this earth. And isn't that a good way to end on?
Yeah, wait, we won't keep the last bit in. We'll just say that they are the bane of this earth.
Yeah.
Yeah.
They are the bane of this earth.
Brilliant.
Okay.
Oh my days. There actually was one point that I did want to go over there, just quickly.
Go on.
We are very good.
Oh God, merely a donkey, Nicholas.
And I'll just leave it at that. So thank you. No.
First funny thing you've ever said. Don't cry.
Yeah. Sorry, back on point. I'm just,
Also, do you like the effort I've made with the pink?
Yeah, it's very matchy-matchy.
Good feng shui.
Feng shui.
Yeah.
Wow.
Really does not match what I... Feng shui is the layout, the feeling you get of a room, isn't it?
Yeah, it's like the negative spacing.
Yeah, whereas this is more cohesion in my fashion choices.
Yeah, yeah. Although feng shui was a cool word to use.
I know.
It sounded good.
Feng shui.
Yeah.
Word of the week.
Word of the week. Feng shui.
How are we talking about feng shui about masks?
Anyways,
I don't think you can. You can't legally title this about masks because we've probably touched on it about 15. 15 times in 4 hours.
Gosh. So wrapping it back.
Wrapping it back.
That's all we're gonna say.
Pause.
So we're good at figuring out the issue, but we're not good at prescribing the medicine.
I don't think there's a medicine for this.
So my point to further land is, a lot of people will provide better medicine that they give to others than what they take. Yeah?
Do you know what paradox that is?
You tell me what it is.
You know it. You know it. I've told you before.
Yeah, I know, but I don't remember these things.
King Solomon's paradox.
Oh, really?
No?
Okay, I didn't remember that.
King Solomon, he used to get people that worked for him to come to and explain a problem.
Yeah.
As if it was someone else in his life.
Okay.
But really they're explaining his problems in a different way.
Okay, yeah.
And then he'd give advice to these people and they'd turn around and be like, oh,
thank you.
That's your life. Apply it.
Yeah.
You know what I mean?
Yeah.
So, because you give better advice to other people than you do for your own life.
So, do you think that you actually give better advice to others than you give yourself?
Oh my goodness me. If I lived by the advice...
Really?
Yeah, I think so.
Oh, okay, interesting.
I think if I live... if you live by the knowledge you have or you apply to yourself, definitely like when we're talking about grace, giving yourself grace, if one of my friends came to me with the situation that I'm in sometimes, oh my God, there's another call.
Answer it.
Another phone.
Answer it.
Hey, Dad. Oh, he hung up.
And that's on camera.
That is on camera.
We'll make sure to cut that.
Shows that even Dad doesn't want to speak to me. Cut that. Yeah. The point is, sorry, this is awful from me. The point is, if my friends were to come to me with my situations, I would advise them to have more grace and give them more leeway and more emotional safety than I give myself.
Okay.
And I think, which is funny, because a lot of those sort of problems contradict with other parts of me that I really focus on, and I try to live by that.
Yeah.
So, yeah. And that's some of the difficulties that I have. I always think I'm like, if I just applied what I would tell my friend, it would be, that's probably how I should live life. But then the dissonance I would get if I lived like that, and then I'm disregarding, oh, but Jack, for so long you've done it like this, and look at the results you've got here.
Yeah.
I think.
That's what I was kind of thinking.
You were thinking that?
Yeah. But for me, I wouldn't say that I give better advice than what I act by.
But I think you do, because you have more of a wide range perspective, because when you're in it, you can't see the wood from the trees.
Okay, yeah. So, I agree with that point. I would say that I probably phrase it a little differently, and I probably didn't land. So, in that case, there are probably things that I would benefit from my own advice, but the application of it is unsuccessful. Yep. But the intention is still there.
Yeah.
But the application is unsuccessful.
Same with me.
And I don't know where my blind spots are in the application process.
And you don't know how to apply it.
Yeah, correctly.
That's correct. It's exactly the same with me.
Yeah. So that's where I was thinking, like, in this case, because like we can explain all of this, and I can explain, the best situation is to when you're masking and whatnot. Do I do it myself? Am I able to do it myself? I'd like to imagine I'd have a better chance.
What's the problem? Why can't you apply it? What holds you back from applying it?
Sometimes it could be awareness, right? Like it could be literally the prescription of, because this is all subconscious. Like I am someone who's much better outside of the moment, reflecting on it or planning for it. Where in the moment.
Same.
Yeah. In the moment.
Unlike high performers to do that, isn't it?
Yeah. Because we're the highest of performers.
Yeah. No, but you know what I mean? Like trying to overachieve.
Yeah.
Being like over analytical about how you've crossed the road. That's sort of what I'm like.
Oh, I'd never do that.
You never do that? Yeah, because you don't go outside, you loser.
Great point. Great point.
Thank you.
Oh, but yeah,
Who's the loser? My dad doesn't even answer my calls. He's prank calling me.
That would be the most offensive plot twist ever. Your dad like, hey guys, let me prank call my son. Hangs up.
We got to cut all of this.
Yeah. The Riverside murked itself, so I don't even have the ability to look at the markers. So I'm going to have to just scream into the mic and say, cut!
Okay.
So I can see the audio.
Okay.
Yeah.
Cool.
Goodness me.
What was your point?
Yeah.
You were going to land somewhere.
I was. Prescribing the best things. Yeah. I think that, like, when it comes to giving the antidote or whatever, the application, the blind spots, all of these things are so difficult for someone to truly live by or figure out. Like, yeah. I reflected on the businesses that I'm working on. I'm like, if I was to give advice to myself, looking from the outside perspective, what would I give?
Yeah.
Yet, it's really difficult even to get yourself into a position of thinking from that point of view.
Yeah.
Because it's all you know.
Yeah. I think that's why it's important to have your close friendship circle that aligns with you ideologically.
Yes. Because that will always guide you to where you probably would be thinking.
Because I think and I don't live by this. It's again, this is Solomon's paradox.
Yeah.
I wish I did. It's probably good advice. But that's why I think it's valuable being able to talk to people about things.
Yeah.
Not that I do it at all, but if people align with you ideologically, they're able to see the wood from the trees, an outside perspective, but also recognize how you probably think and what's important to you.
Yeah.
So how you should apply it to your life. Whereas you wouldn't go to someone who doesn't align and then ask for that same advice because maybe they're going from their point of view.
Yes.
Whereas if you have the same sort of point of view, it can kind of lead you in a better direction.
Yeah, like if you were to go to a homeless guy on the street and say, what should I do with my last $100,000? And then you come to me and I say, go ask a homeless guy. No. But if you were to then go ask a millionaire what to do, then he's got a better chance of giving you the answer that was probably more beneficial, maybe not ideologically aligned, but the objective in that case probably is to get more money.
Exactly.
You wouldn't ask the homeless person.
Reap more rewards.
Yeah. Rather than in a other situation, again, probably not going to ask the homeless guy.
Instant gratification.
A homeless guy could give good advice there. Could he?
What? For
instant gratification?
No, he would want instant.
Oh, okay, yeah.
He would buy something with $100,000 that had instant gratification.
Yeah.
Don't know where your mind went there, buddy.
Nor do I. But anyways, again, very off topic there. But interesting to...
How does this wrap up
to
masks?
It doesn't.
It doesn't?
No. And that's the purpose of this podcast. Is to...
Ironically, the Sculpted Podcast has no structure. It is the least sculpted thing ever.
Wow. And that's what makes a sculpture beautiful.
It does.
The imperfections. Otherwise, it's just another stone.
Is that what you tell yourself in the mirror?
See, that's just where, again, the personal attacks. I told you that I got a bit of a tummy army on me now. And I'm not eating for the next 3 weeks.
Good. Wouldn't hurt.
Stairs. They look good.
Christ, we're off topic.
I reckon we wrap it up there. That's so funny.
Awesome.
What an episode.
That
actually was sick.
Great doing business, mate.
Great doing business. That is funny.
Oh, okay. I should stop my QuickTime player, shouldn't I?